It is a real privilege and indeed a pleasure for me to address this audience on behalf of all the institutions which are supporting the Caribbean Growth Forum. I would like to deeply thank the authorities of St. Kitts and Nevis for the excellent preparation of this important event in a record time, I have to say. And I'm particularly thankful to you, Prime Minister Douglas, and to your valuable staff for having taken the leadership of this organization. The Caribbean Growth Forum was launched last June in Jamaica through a regional event. At that time, it was agreed that the participants, which included governments, representatives of the private sector, civil society, youth, academia, from all Caribbean countries willing to participate, it was agreed that it was time to engage in an action-oriented national dialogue around growth and development challenges, with the specific objective of identifying practical and implementable solutions that can be realized in the short and medium term. And I insist, the focus is on action. The focus is on implementation. We are talking today, but what's expected from this initial convening moment is further work, further identification of constraints, further effort in the direction of change, further implementation. This is the 5th National Caribbean Growth Forum in the OECS countries and the 6th in the Caribbean. It follows the successful events just over the past 3 to 4 months held in the Dominican Republic, in Antigua and Barbuda, in Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and St. Lucia. Andrea Gallina, who's the CGF coordinator, sitting at the end of the table, will give you more details later on the methodology of the CGF and how we expect to see this rolling out. And of course, on the results expected by these national chapters' efforts. Later this month, or in the month of March, Dominica and likely Jamaica will follow with a national chapter. The rationale behind this initiative is very simple. Economic growth has been structurally low in the region, in a context where, in addition, the financial crisis hasn't helped and where the context of excessive debt has hampered a number of potential. In St. Kitts and Nevis, the authorities have made tremendous effort to address the crisis, and they've made substantial progress on the structural reform agenda to put the economy back on track. There's a sound fiscal environment, there's a much improved debt situation, and this is, of course, the ground which is required for growth to take off. Yet growth has not yet sufficiently materialized. And this is a concern, of course, for all of us. So we're partners in the second phase, which is to build on the sound ground for success. It seems very clear at this stage that the collective effort is required under these circumstances. What we are engaging into today to address this matter is something really innovative, where government, private sector, other non-traditional stakeholders get together and start debating on the priorities for St. Kitts and Nevis in 3 specific areas, which have been identified in the earlier regional exercise as relevant for the whole Caribbean, and which are considered critical to stimulate growth. This is investment climate, logistic and connectivity, and skills and productivity. We're all aware, of course, that there's no magic to this, and there's no automatic recipe for growth. Financial resources, technical capacity, political will are all necessary ingredients, but what we're emphasizing with this initiative is actually the importance of collective and concerted, deliberate action. We launched the Caribbean Growth Forum because we believed that if the appropriate conditions are in place, growth is always possible, even under difficult circumstances. For this, stakeholders have to come together and have to take the initiative. We are partners. We're full of goodwill to bring the thinking resources of various organizations into that debate. But the initiative has to come from interested parties. It has to be led by interested parties. So essentially, you are the actors of the next stage. The financial institutions, our partners, will facilitate this process, but we're here only to listen and support and to provide technical input in order to stimulate discussions. The CGF will not solve all problems affecting growth in St. Kitts and Nevis, but we can certainly assure you, based on our experience, that with your help and engagement, the outcome of this forum will not be one of the many reports that end up on the shelf and will be covered by dust within a few months. This forum will surely help take action on those solutions that will be prioritized with your help. Think about what the impact could be here in St. Kitts and Nevis, or in the Caribbean in general, for the economy and for the prospect of young people, if we could entertain the dream that we had all of a sudden low logistic costs to move goods across islands and to export destination, widespread broadband for perfect connectivity, so that all the youth receiving a computer are enabled by the best connectivity in the world to use it for results. If we had high-level skills matching the needs of the private sector demand, if we had world-class investment climate and the capacity to solve problems as they evolve on the private sector front, if we had cheaper and maybe more sustainable energy, which in fact may be possible out of existing resources in St. Kitts and Nevis, think about what the congregation of all these factors could be on the opportunities for a country like St. Kitts and Nevis to take off into a very successful growth path. Think about what this environment would do to the 5 priorities that the Prime Minister has identified as the drivers of growth, which are possible for St. Kitts and Nevis and have been already identified for further action. St. Kitts and Nevis has a rich and proud history, tradition, and culture. We're very confident that this event can produce very important results and will set the basic for a work program that will lead to actionable solutions and to tangible success and growth for the country. Many thanks again to the government authorities, to the private sector representatives, and to civil society and labor representation for joining us together in this endeavor. It's all about working together. It's all about further effort for further action and for further results. Thank you very much.